Happy New Year's, ladies and gentlemen. It is officially 2024. Jesus Christ, we're getting old. And with it being the new year, the New Year's test is just around the corner. And for the first time in a while, we're talking about Australia's greatest summer game. Of course, it's going to be on the lower level of excitement considering what we've just done throughout the whole year. But in saying that, this upcoming test might be one of my most anticipated of all time. And you know the title of the video today. We are talking about the little assassin who has been opening batting for Australia for over a decade now, and that is Davey Warner. The catalyst for the modern day opener, the catalyst for one of Australia's biggest sporting scandals, allegedly, and really one of the most polarizing Australian athletes that I can remember existing, which is kind of insane considering his credentials for Australia. And in saying that, I don't think I've been more nervous for an opener to get out walking onto a cricket pitch than the guy who has the second most runs for Australia of all time. It definitely is an interesting discussion because depending on who you ask, David Warner is either up there alongside the punters and the Bradmans as one of the all-time greats, or a lot of people just don't simply rate him as highly as those people do, which is crazy considering, like I just said, he's second in overall test, well, not just test, Australian runs behind Ricky Ponting, more than Bradman, more than Smith, more than Gilly, both the Wars, all of them. He's only second to punter, which is crazy considering he did take a year off. I shouldn't say take, he was suspended. If this was any other country, he would be beloved to death, but because of the surrounding nature behind the bloke, a lot of people probably wouldn't even put him in their best test team of all time. Which to me personally is a little crazy. I would have him up there alongside Matty Hayden, who I didn't really get to see, but Davey Warner is my favorite cricket player of all time. I actually remember your boy, I was absolutely a gun as a kid, would have made it if it wasn't for me dodgy knee, but I was playing on the SCG and we got to play during the innings break of a Sheffield Shield match, of which there was a young Davey Warner who had yet to play a test match for Australia. And ever since, he came out and he was doing these ridiculous switch shots, which Glenn Maxwell haven't even done yet. I mean, David Warner was the first guy I can really remember it. I really only started watching cricket really intensely because I was watching the rise of Davey Warner go from this T20 slogger knocker to, like I just said, in my opinion, the greatest opener for Australia in test matches of all time. Bloke is in the top 5 in test runs for Australia, in the top 3 for ODI runs, and is only second T20 international runs for Australia. Andrew McDonald just said it. In his opinion, he's the best 3-format player ever to play for Australia, and I think he's definitely that as well. And in fact, I'll go a step further. If you were creating a best 11 all time in each of the formats, David Warner's your opening batter in test matches, ODIs, and T20 internationals. He averages 45 in test matches and ODIs, which is pretty insane because that average would have come down a lot because I do love Davey Warner and I will stand and I will sit here and praise him like I'm doing for the majority of this video, but he has had a rough couple years, especially outside of Australia. I can't actually remember the last test ton he got outside of Australia. It might even be before Sandpaper Gate. But this is a bloke who's still, 335 not out. 200 against South Africa on Boxing Day. Record for the quickest 100 at the SCG against Pakistan a few years ago. We could ever forget the ton when he got out on 99, but Tom Curran's foot, he just decided to go a bit too far over that line. This guy has had some of the best moments, some of the most iconic moments in Australian cricket for the last decade. And really, we have a glory team right now. This is the best team I've seen in my lifetime because I didn't get to see Gilly, Punter, Warney, McGrath. I didn't get to see that team in its prime. But I would say the current genesis, your Travis Heads, your Pat Cummins, your Josh Hazlewood, Starks, and then you throw Gaz in for the test matches, plus Smith, Labuschagne. This is the best Australian cricket team I have ever seen. And Davey Warner really has been the guy who's been the transition. He was there towards the back end of Punter's captaincy, was there when Clarkey took over. And I'll always have a soft spot for Michael Clarke as captain. Get ready for a broken. Then into the Smith era, obviously had the year off, came back in his first test summer back when he got the 335 not. It was the big summer for Labuschagne to really make his statement and really make a claim to this being his team now. But Davey Warner was still outscoring him back then, and ever since, he's been the catalyst for the new guys coming in, your Travis Heads. And I think that Davey Warner, without him playing the way he does, it doesn't allow Travis Head to be so aggressive. And in my opinion, that change to his game plan has made him, at least right now for me, the best batsman in Australian cricket. And that fearlessness is what makes him so good, because like I said at the beginning of the video, when he walks out there, I'm never more nervous to see a bloke get out. And that's probably just because he is my favourite cricket player of all time. So to see him get out
breaks my little heart.
Jesus Christ, the same bloke, and I've seen it countless times. He hits the same shot. I don't know whether it's going to go for 4 and he's going to click it onto his stumps. In some matches, like the 335 not out, you think the guy's got the best luck in the world. And then in other times, like in the most previous test match on Boxing Day, that is the most unlucky of chop-ons I have seen in cricket, at least in this summer. Absolutely love the way David Warner plays. And you can make an argument this might be a bit hyperbolic, but there's a reason why, at least for I think my generation, is we have a greater appreciation for David Warner, is because that is who the next generation of batsmen want to be. As Test cricket is dying, which is such a shame, because this is going to make me sound old as, but it's my favourite form of the game. There's no doubt that T20s and the shorter formats, not even ODIs anymore, but T20 leagues are taking over the world, and that's where the money is. Outside of India and England, no one has been able to keep close to Australia in recent years in test matches. Unless, of course, we're playing on goat tracks in the subcontinent. Without seeing David Warner be the first real slobber knocker T20 player to be able to transition to the test level, I'm not sure where Test cricket would be at right now, especially in Australia. Like I just said, the change up for Travis Head ever since those Ashes 2 years ago is when there was a bit of a conversation between whether he should be coming into the side. I mean, Davey Warner's injury, which promoted Matty Wade from 5 to the top of the order, is really what brought Travis Head back into the team. It was from there when he went on, won the Player of the Series, and he was playing like Davey Warner, obviously a bit quote-unquote easier because they didn't have the new ball when he came in at number 5. But without Davey Warner, I don't think that sort of game plan would be allowed. Most notably, look at England. England have dominated, not so much this year, but have dominated white ball cricket for the majority of the past decade, and they have transitioned that to their test team, like Davey Warner did 10 years ago. Lucky for me, while I sit here and say that Davey Warner, you know, I'm never more nervous when I go watch him bat. But when I've gone to see him live, the lowest score he made was on my 21st last year or the year before when he made 40 odd. So I've been pretty lucky in that regard. As you get older, like I do now, you probably couldn't tell, but this is going to sound really cringe, but there's certain things you try to hold on to, and that being your childhood. And as a sports kid, you don't really look at it, but as a sports kid, your favorite players, you know, Kobe Bryant was my basketballer. I'm a Dallas Cowboys guy, but Tom Brady was my American footballer. Like when your favorite players that you watch growing up, when they retire, you get sad. I mean, look at Roger Federer and Leighton Hewitt in the tennis, for example. I'm waiting for it to happen in rugby league with my favorite athlete of all time, DCE, and now he's really the only one left because after this test match, Davey Warner's gone and my favorite cricket player of all time. And I think the generation when you grow up watching something for this first time, because, you know, Davey has always been my favorite cricket player. That year off was horrible for me. I'm sure it was horrible for him and Smithy too. I mean, I miss Smithy, but I was so sad watching David Warner not be in that test team when we got actually crushed by India because Pujara was a bloody brick wall. Sucks. It sucks to see that career not get robbed of him because obviously we don't know the circumstances, but what we do know is that Australia cheated and that him, Bancroft and Smithy had to, well, bear the consequences of that. Suck, he'll never get that year back, but what he has done has been remarkable, and maybe he gets punter if he has that year. But basically, I just want to make this video because I just wanted to say thank you, Davey, because I don't know why I'm calling him Davey. Is that rude? Let me know if that's rude in the comments below. Yeah, man, I'm sad. Like I said, it's probably not the most exciting summer to look forward to. I mean, we just had one of the best Ashes series, and we just had our probably biggest win in cricket for some time, beating India in that World Cup final. But Davey Warner's retirement is up there with those games for me. This is going to be one test match where I am going to sit on my ass for 5 days and not leave the couch because it'll be the last time I ever get to see him in test matches. And like I said, at least for me, who's living as a 50-year-old, this is my favorite format of the game. I still get to see him probably in the Big Bash and in T20 leagues around the world. This is the pinnacle for me, and he's gone, which I think is going to be a bit of a catalyst. Again, like I said about his batting going from a slobber knocker in T20s to test matches. Travis said the
England team with their Baz bullshit.
The same way, you know, Usman Khawaja is the same age as Davey Warner. It feels like he just came back, but I don't know how long he's got. Steve Smith's obviously, he's going to be 36 soon. Nathan Lyon, Mitchell Stark's 33. That's for a fast bowler. So this is the beginning of the end for my Australian cricket team that, you know, I've grown up and that I love the most. Like, Mitchell Stark is the bowling equivalent to what Davey Warner is. I feel, look, I'm not going to lie, Pat Cummins is my favorite bowler and he's, in my opinion, a great, great captain. It's going to be sad, man. I'm devastated. I'm not going to cry because I'm a man. It will be sad, you know. It will be. Love him or hate him. This is my video. Get your own YouTube channel. In my opinion, he is, without a doubt, the best 11 for test matches, ODIs, T20s for Australia. Heck, he's up there in terms of the world's best cricket players of all time. Yes, it sucks what happened in South Africa, and again, that was his or whoever's doing in that team, but he, Smith, and Bancroft were the ones that were punished. And look, that's a whole different video, and the fact that those three were the only ones punished still boggles me. But again, that's a different video. I just wanted to come on here, talk about Davey, and this video may or not have made sense, considering I can't even speak English right now. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy David Warner for the final time in Test cricket. I know I will, mainly because I can't walk still, so I'm going to be glued to the couch anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts. What do you think about David Warner's legacy in that comment section below? Maybe good luck in retirement. I can't wait to see you put on the baggy green for one final time.